Hey everybody, it's Alex Meller at Capnion here. Lately, writing code and software more broadly with AI has become a bit of a big deal. If you work or software in data, you might be under pressure to work with these things. If you are into those things as a hobbyist, you might have already tinkered. There's a big spectrum of what is called vibe coding. You could work with an agent or you could ask an LM for snippets of code. And across all these things, it's interesting to ask, does this really help us get more done? And to the extent the answer might not be a categorical yes, well, can you be good at AI coding versus being bad at it? And what does that skill set look like? And that's what I would like to talk about in this video. Across a lot of things you might do with AI, it seems to be true that if you know what you're doing, AI will help you move faster. And if you don't know what you're doing and or you're careless, AI can help you waste a lot of time being confused and careless. AI psychosis, where it gets that name, is kind of an extreme example where you were a little confused in a way that made you too excited, and AI just helped you go overboard. It's been my own experience, and this is not unusual. Writing code with AI, a lot of the time I move a lot faster, and every once in a while, the AI functions as a sort of debugging saboteur and helps me be trapped by some theory about what's wrong that's not true. And you can definitely see the potential in all these stories. Well, it's kind of iffy if these things help you move faster. And I believe Anthropic's own research says that AI coding doesn't really help on the average thus far. So that brings us to the question, can you get good at AI coding in a way that you really are turbo productive? And I would say personally, a lot of my own arc of interest in generative AI has been, I have seen the potential more and more as I have realized that you can be good or bad at it, and it's a skill to cultivate. And this also has a lot to offer in terms of insight about what's going to happen to the labor market. It's very fascinating. A lot of people out there right now are experimenting a lot with how do you manage AI agents approximately. If you're using a tool like Claude Code, for example, you can set a bunch of different AI agents loose to do various things to your code, check it for security bugs, add a feature. It seems pretty consistent and consistent with what I just said, that if you do a good job knowing what to ask for and asking for it carefully, you get pretty good results. And if you don't do that, you can go down a lot of blind alleys, pile up a lot of weird technical debt, and have a bad time. So I want to point out a few schools of thought I've observed and a slightly weird mystical philosophy I've thought about on top of that. People out there now are working on things like you might call mission control. You could invent a whole corporate bureaucracy of agents to supervise your individual contributor agents, making sure they write good code, that they have tests, all the thing you might do in a software engineering organization. You can come up with a meta agent of agents, double checking other agents with different roles, doing code review amongst your agents. These are all very new and very exciting. I can certainly see the potential. There's also a school of thought out there like, this is madness and it's never really going to work, and you just have to do a good job giving your agents good instructions. I would say across all of these schools of thought is something I find really interesting, and that conversations sort of start to sound like a sports psychologist and a monk talking about state of mind, and that a lot of the bad outcomes outlier situations where AI helps you waste a lot of time, there is a fatigue or emotion aspect to the story of you knew how to give it good instructions and you just didn't for reasons that were not entirely intellectual. And this is a lot like things that occur in less obviously intellectual areas of life. You, if you had time to think about it and you were in a good, calm state of mind, you knew what the right answer was, and it just you weren't in a calm state of mind and you put down the wrong answer. All of these things are very much in progress. AI moves really fast. Vibe coding is very new. This kind of meta conversation about being good at vibe coding is even newer than that, but I would say both that it's really intellectually interesting and once again goes to this strange place about a lot of the right way to think about AI is about grooming your own mind and being grounded. And then also, if you're a mercenary, I can't imagine that this isn't going to be very relevant into the world of software and data employment very soon.